We are back up at the house now, and we're about to start working on this treetop. You see it's still not the treetop, the entire trees. So we got one whole hickory tree worked up last Saturday, and then all these rains and storms started on Sunday, and it's really kind of kept us from getting out here messing with it again. Man, the jar flies are loud today. Anyway, you see this, the top of the one hickory tree here, and then there's another one just on the other side of it. A little bit about when you start working up these trees, and I've talked to several people who have never used a chainsaw, number one, and who have never tried to work up a tree that's down, let alone fell a tree, try to fell a tree. You can't just take the saw and start sawing randomly. Like, I can't go back there on the trunk and just start sawing randomly. You got to look at everything. You have to assess where things are at in a bind and which way things are going to go when you start cutting through it. So like here behind me, the top of this hickory tree is pinned underneath this cedar tree. So it's pulling the tip of the hickory tree down, which is fine because that's the way you're going to want to do a top cut here, because the limbs underneath the cedar tree are going to want to start pulling downward. The catch is, though, is you got to watch, because whatever is ahead of the cut where you're cutting at, that the rest of the tree is like a spring. It's under tension. So when you start cutting there, that's the rest of that tree back here on the backside is going to want to spring up on you. So you've got to be clear. You've got to stand clear, because you really don't know by looking at it. Is it going to come up 6 inches? Is it going to come up 3 feet? You don't know. So you've got to always have an escape route in mind when you start cutting this. So what I'm doing is I'm working around the tree. I'm trying to get everything cut away from the trunk, number one, get all the limbs cut off. Then I'm trying to expose the larger treetop limbs. As I get that worked out and exposed, then I'm going to start cutting away what's in a bind. But you also have to, you got to look at everything. Like I said, you've got to analyze and assess every cut you're making, and is it going to be a top cut or a bottom cut, depending on which way the limb is under tension or under stress. Because if you cut through something on the wrong side, and as the tree limb or the trunk begins to break, it puts your chain in a bind, you can get your chainsaw stuck and you're screwed. Then you've got to figure out a way to unwedge it by either jacking the tree up or putting torque on the section that is moved, that has now got your chainsaw in a bind. So it's actually a very mental thing to do. You have to think constantly. And it's a lot more tiring than people realize. Tiring for your arms and your shoulders, because you're always trying to balance, and you're always applying some amount of force to the chainsaw. Yeah, a really good sharp chain is going to cut through it on its own for the most part, but you're always having to guide it. And as you saw more, it begins to get dull. And if you don't take the time to go resharpen the chain to get it back to optimal cutting condition, then you're having to apply a little bit more force to make it do what you need it to do. So just a little bit about how you have to do this stuff, because I've had people that I've talked to who have never done this kind of thing, and they just had questions, and so I figured it's a good time to kind of address that now. But I'm gonna go get the chainsaw out, get it gassed up and oiled up. I'm gonna swap out my sunglasses that I had a while ago for my safety glasses, because there's always sawdust, there's always stuff flying around. So I really need to get the safety glasses on, so that way I'm prepared for that, and I don't get anything in my eyes. So I'll see you back out here in a little bit. What a day this has been. Wow, we have put in a lot of time outside today, and it got a little bit warmer than it was supposed to. The humidity did not necessarily drop the way that the forecast said it would be. As a matter of fact, it rained on us for a little while. My wife came back home and we started mowing on the yard, and started raining on us while we were doing that, so that killed the yard mowing. The kids and I came back out and started working more on the tree. Look at, we made a ton of progress today. So that tree right there, we've already got it down. We've got it cut into logs now. It's done. I just have to hook the chains to them and drag it off with the tractor. And then back over here, that tree back there, as you can see, we've already got it stripped all the way down, and I've started working on the top, and I'm working my way up the trunk now. So that one will be done probably not tomorrow. We got a lot of things going on tomorrow, but it is storming all around me right now. I was over here sawing and going to town with this, and on the tractor hauling logs and dragging stuff off. And I stopped the chainsaw to get on the tractor, and I heard bam, a loud crack of thunder back over here, and looked up. There's a rainbow, double rainbow up there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe, yeah, right there, my finger. There's one there, and then there's another one behind it, but it's really faint. Anyway, loud crack of thunder. I looked up, storm cloud right there. Go check the radar, and there's storms and rain all around us. The wind's picking up here now. Look. Got another one blowing in right here. So the storms are firing up right now. The humidity did not go down the way it was supposed to. But thankfully, we made a ton of progress here today. I've got to get in touch with the neighbor about getting the wood chipper over here and get these tops all chipped up. We've got our pile of firewood and mushroom wood right there. I've got to figure out what lengths I'm going to cut these logs into to either cut them into lumber. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I'm actually thinking about either using this one right here or the main trunk of that one over there to make a really large header for the barn, like a 4x8 size header. Probably have to use that one back over there to make like a 4x8 header to span across the top, and I can put me a chain fall on it to either raise the bush hog deck to work on the bush hog, or to hoist a deer up to butcher it, or whatever I've got to do, you know. So that way I have plenty of, I'd like to have a really good heavy duty beam inside there to hook a chain fall to be able to have in there to work with. And if I can use a log from here on the farm to make that beam with, then how cool would that be? So anyway, that's going to be it for today. These storms are rolling in. It's getting dark right here. As you just saw, the wind's picking up. Thunder's just rolling off all to the south of us back in Knoxville. Knoxville's getting hammered again right now, it looks like. So I'm going to put this thing away, and I'm going to get inside before it gets bad here. And thank you so much for watching. I'd appreciate it if you go in and hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you want to be notified every time we release a new video, you can hit the bell. But please feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know if you like what we're doing, if you got any comments or thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to next time. Have a blessed day and happy gardening.